and welcome back. Welcome to the final episode of Players' Cup rental testing, where I take rental teams, take them on the ladder to discuss their viability for the Players' Cup and kind of bring a few bits of tips and advice as I go for those of you who actually want to listen to my tips and advice, which, well, actually turns out it's quite a few of you. We've got some decent coverage on this so far. We've got some really good feedback. So today's the last episode. I'm going to be bringing you a Mewtwo team. I think that Mewtwo is a really interesting Pokemon to use. It's not the best in the format. I don't think anyone's ever going to argue that Mewtwo is really good in the format right now, or even that it's necessarily a sensible choice to bring for something like the Players' Cup. However, what it does bring you is the element of surprise, right? Because you don't see a whole lot of Mewtwo's running around, you don't see a whole lot of teams using it, so you never know. If you can build a team around it and you can bring it for something like the Players' Cup, you might just pick up enough surprise wins and then play well in enough games to get yourself qualified. Who knows? This team was built by Poke Sports. I'll link them down in the description below. I don't have any affiliation to them. I just saw the video of theirs on YouTube, and I thought this was a kind of cool team. Showcased by some YouTubers who maybe aren't as big as the usual ones that we use when we do rentals and stuff, and yeah, it's kind of cool. What I'll do in just a second is put the team on the screen, but before I do, I just wanted to say thanks to everyone who's actually kind of contributed to this, who's commented on these videos or given me feedback either by like Facebook private messages, which I've had a few of, or Discord messages. I really appreciate it. It's really nice of you all to share that with me. If you want to chat more about this kind of thing, come and join the Discord. I'll pop a link for that down there as well. Or you can come follow me on Twitch. I do stream Battles Live on Twitch as well. But yeah, there you go. There's promotion done. If you want to subscribe to the channel and like the video and all that stuff, please feel free. In fact, I would encourage you to do it. But there we go. What can I say? All right, we'll jump straight into this one. I'll pop the team up on screen and I'll move to the little box just down there. Alright, so here is that team for you right here. It is the pretty kind of standardish core of Mewtwo and Indeedee. So you get the Psychic Surge up with Indeedee and you run Expanding Force on Mewtwo. It's got the Life Orb, it's max special attack, and it hits like an absolute truck. Like, it hits so hard. If you do not resist or are not immune to the Psychic attack, it's a good chance that like an Expanding Force picks up double KOs against almost all non-Dynamax Pokemon like that aren't particularly bulky. It does so much damage, and Indeedee as well with the Follow Me support, the Helping Hand support, and it has Expanding Force of its own. It's huge. So like I say, the Mewtwo is carrying the Life Orb, and it also has Unnerve, which is really nice against those Pokemon who are typically running berries. Although the kind of most typical kind of like berry running Pokemon being something like Incineroar, which obviously Mewtwo doesn't do very well into that, but yeah. It has Expanding Force, it has Shadow Ball, it also is carrying Hurricane, which I think is a really interesting choice. Hurricane, when becoming like max Airstream, obviously gives your team a speed boost, so it can come in kind of clutch, like especially with the Assault Vest Thunderous. Like if you want to make that slightly quicker, slightly stronger, it has its uses for sure. I don't know, having played it, I don't know whether I would personally keep the Hurricane on there. I don't know. I played a few games with it. I think it's an okay tech, but maybe possibly room for something better. But that's just my opinion. Like obviously the creators of this team will know exactly what it's for. It is Defiant Assault Vest Thunderous. I think Defiant Thunderous, I've said it before, I'll say it again, Defiant Thunderous is one of the best Pokemon in this meta. I don't think anyone would ever question that. It is just so good. It's so strong. It really helps to quell Intimidators. So, for example, pairing it with, as you can see on the screen, the Urshifu and the Dracovish. I'm not sure what's going on with my graphics. I don't know why Thunderous's moves are cut off, but yeah, it's got Wild Charge, Fly, Crunch. It's the standard set, right? It's pretty standard. Pairing that alongside Urshifu and Dracovish, like Intimidators have a really tough time coming up against this team. So, for example, when you're using Mewtwo, one of the Pokemon you want to avoid is Incineroar, like I said. Having Thunderous as well is a really useful way of kind of either encouraging your opponent not to bring Incineroar or checking for Incineroar. Mewtwo is so powerful that actually you can bring it late game and you can Dynamax things around it. You don't need to Dynamax Mewtwo every time. Whimsicott is there for its kind of standard prankster shenanigans. It's got the eject button, it's got Tailwind, it's got Helping Hand. Again, it's all about damage boosting for this team. It is very hyper offensive. If you get your leads right, you get your matchups right, you can blow teams away. If you get them wrong, you'll probably lose. And as you can see, Sash, Urshifu, and Choice Scarf Dracovish to round it off. It is a very viable team, this. It is not the best team. There are hard counters to it. Veltal in particular I found to be a particularly difficult matchup if Veltal's supported right. But you can use it. I haven't used it so much that I can say like it's guaranteed brilliant, but it is useful. You can get a decent amount out of the team if you are able to kind of play smartly. Don't rush into Mewtwo if you don't need to. Just keep things going. So yeah, without any further ado, we'll jump into some games, and yeah, I hope you enjoy. All right then, it looks like we've found our first opponent for this team. Now, this is an interesting matchup. So we've got the opposing Urshifu there, and the Calyrex Shadow Rider, whatever it's called. That thing's obviously a problem for Mewtwo. Mewtwo doesn't really like facing down the Calyrex there. However, it's not the worst. It's not the worst matchup in the world. I mean, I think Incineroar is going to be really important here. We'll need to make sure to preserve Incineroar as best we can. It's interesting, like I said, I haven't played too much with this team. I haven't had loads and loads of matches, so I'm still kind of fresh with it. What I have found is that it goes, well, it's pretty quick. Also, I realised I have a different team. I have a different team on here to the one at the start of the video. It's not the Life Orb Mewtwo, it's the Specs Mewtwo, but that's fine. I'm just thinking, I think I might leave my Incineroar and Indeedee here. I think that might be quite a nice lead. I am going to bring... Am I going to bring Mewtwo in the back? No, I don't think I can. Can I? Can I? Let's bring Urshifu, and I think maybe Landorus, actually. Having thought... Oh, Thundurus. Oh, no, Landorus is... Does Landorus do okay here? I think Landorus does okay here. Yeah, I can see myself maxing Landorus sometime in the late game. Okay, so, yeah. I am, this is a slightly different team to the one I chatted about right at the start, but that's alright. We can, I didn't realise the code had changed. I must have been looking at two different ones. I've been using the Life Orb one on Showdown, but we'll be using Specs here, so that's fine. It will obviously make a difference with when we do or don't Dynamax, but that's alright, we can get past that. Okay, so it is Kartana and opposing Urshifu. So we've got Incineroar and Indeedee here. Which I don't think is a dreadful lead for us. We obviously put huge pressure onto the Kartana straight away, and we've lowered the attack of both the opposing Pokemon. So it's not a dreadful start in reality. I need to have a quick look at what he's got in the back to see how free an attack into Kartana is here. What could he switch in on this in reality? I mean, he's got honestly nothing. Like literally nothing. Nothing in the back for him wants to take an attack there. So we are kind of free to Flare Blitz. The other thing is we've got Urshifu and Landorus in the back, so it would be kind of nice to remove his Urshifu too, but we don't offer too much against it. I think actually what I could... Is there anything stopping me from clicking Flare Blitz and Follow Me? I don't think there is. Although the Expanding Force would be nice into his Urshifu, I think this is fairly safe. I think it is. Okay, so we get the Follow Me off, which is pretty nice. We'll definitely take a Sacred Sword, and which means Indeedee will go down, but we will remove the Kartana turn 1, which is pretty big. So the Surging Strike comes out, which obviously will KO Indeedee. We actually took the first one, but yeah, we're not going to take the other two. We're not going to take another one. So that's fine. So what this means is we will obviously remove his Kartana turn 1, which is very, very nice for us. And we can now bring in our own, either our own Urshifu or our Landorus. If we can remove his Urshifu, I think we're in a really good spot. But in this scenario... Can I risk going into my own Urshifu? Yeah, I don't think so. I kind of want to save Urshifu for late game because it's so useful late game. Obviously, we don't particularly want to take a Surging Strikes into this Landorus slot, but I actually don't think it's the worst thing in the world. What does he go into here? Okay, he goes into his Indeedee. That's no bother. Alright. So, I think there is a play here. I think the first thing we need to do is switch out our Incineroar. It's the Psychic Seed, okay. I think we switch out our Incineroar here and preserve it. And go into Urshifu. Because I think if we're going to take anything into that slot, it's going to be the water attack. I think we have to Dynamax here. I don't think we have another option, and I think we have to target his Urshifu. I don't really think we have too much of another choice. We're not in the best spot, but if we can remove his Urshifu, we are in a great spot. The obvious problem here being the Indeedee in the other slot, but I think regardless, if we get a speed boost onto both of our Pokemon, we're in a really nice position for the following turn. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'll keep Incineroar in the back, hopefully, in case he has got his Shadow Rider. But providing neither of us go down here, which we shouldn't do, I think we can take a Surging Strikes from the Urshifu. I'm pretty confident we can take a Surging Strikes from the Urshifu on Landorus. I know obviously it's super effective and it's a crit, etc, but I think it should be okay. And I'm pretty confident we can take a -2 fighting move into the Urshifu slot or a water move into the Urshifu slot. Okay, it does go for the Helping Hand, which means we are going to get some damage onto the Urshifu if we survive. Okay, we do. We actually outspeed it, which is pretty big. And that just goes down. It doesn't look like there was a sash there, so pretty nice turn actually, to be honest. All right, so let's have a think. To be honest, what we've had so far is a pretty sloppy game from me. I've not been brilliant there, and it's worked out for us more through good fortune than anything else. Okay, so next up he goes into his Shadow Rider. What I'm going to do here is try and remove the Indeedee before I let the Urshifu go down, because a Choice Band Urshifu is just going to absolutely destroy that thing. So we're going to go into Incineroar, and I'm going to go for a Quake into the... I think I have to target the Indeedee here, because I really need the Indeedee gone so that when I bring Urshifu back in later, we do KO it. What's the speed stat on this Landorus? Let me just take a quick look. So we are 157. Do we have speed? I should really know that. If you're gonna use this team, learn the speed stats and learn what +1 speed does. I'm going to Quake into the Indeedee slot here, hoping that we outspeed the stupid horse. If we do outspeed the stupid horse, we obviously get the special defense boost, which should mean we're feeling fairly safe from its double attack thing. Whatever it's called, Astral Lance, is that right? Astral Barrage? I don't know. I'm still a bit rusty on what all these different Pokemon do, to be honest with you. Give me Gen 1. There we go. So he is going to Dynamax. I somehow don't think this is Indeedee. Yeah, it's the Calyrex Dynamaxes. Which is that's fine. I guess he could Helping Hand into the Landorus. Is that possible? He goes for the Follow Me. Okay, that's fine. So I think we should take an attack from this dumb horse. We do move first, which I figured I figured we would. I figured that's why you would have the speed stat where it is. So we do get our special defense boost into the Indeedee, which boosts both Incineroar's and Landorus' special defense, which should mean that we take an attack from this thing fairly reasonably now, especially a non-stab one. Yep, we take it really, really well, in fact. That's excellent. Okay. So what I'm going to do this turn is I'm going to Flare Blitz the big horse, and I'm going to Max Quake the Indeedee again, because I think that should be enough. Yeah, I think that should be fine. I think if this works out, I don't know if Indeedee will have Protect on his end. It just follows me, which is totally fine. Because I think this should mean, in reality, that we have enough end game to finish this off, especially with another Max Quake. We could have tried to get clever there, and switch in Urshifu into the Landorus slot, and then go for the Flare Blitz into the Indeedee to take it out. But in honesty, this extra speed boost, this extra special defense boost, without a critical hit into it, should really. I mean, it just goes for the Mind Storm again. That's totally fine. We get the Flare Blitz off, which does like a really good chunk of damage, even though it's a Dynamax mod and this Incineroar is not that offensive. So yeah, a pretty shaky game one, but one where I think we're going to pick up the win. And we briefly spoke about this last game, about what win. I don't know why I'm doing that. Well, what win conditions you can do, right? So and about what win conditions are. So I know that in this game, in this scenario, I know that my Urshifu with the Choice Band and Sucker Punch is always going to win late game against the opposing horse, right? Like, it's always going to win. Every single time it's going to win. So I don't need to do anything other than remove the threats on the rest of the field, and and just allow that to happen at the end, right? Allow the end game to be his horse against my Urshifu, and I'm always going to win. As it happens, we were able to get the speed boost into the special defense boost, into the Landorus, so we were able to take attacks from the horse. But regardless, I think we were in a pretty safe spot throughout. His only play could have been, I guess, if he helping handed the horse and then aimed into the Landorus and crit, he would have taken us out. But aside from that, I think we kind of had this one pretty much sealed up once we were able to isolate that end game. So Landorus misses the fly because, you know, why not? It Astral Barrages us, which will take out Landorus. It will do precisely nothing to Incineroar, which is fine, and we'll get the Fabulous off and finish off that way. So we didn't even need to use Urshifu in the end. But again, like, to keep hammering home that same point, once we knew the horse was there and we could beat it with Urshifu, with Sucker Punch on Urshifu with the Choice Band, what we needed to do with two things is remove everything else, particularly the Indeedee, because of Follow Me. Once the Indeedee was gone, Urshifu always wins. Okay, we needed to then secondly stall out the Psychic Terrain so we could use Sucker Punch, and once that was done, we were always going to win. So GG's to my opponent, and yeah, I'll see you in just a sec for the next match. Okay, so the next game looks to be a Sun team, which I haven't gone up against too many Sun teams as yet, so I'll be interested to see how we get on. The only Dark type on my opponent's side of the field is the Grimmsnarl, so it is a game where we could potentially bring Mewtwo. In fact, I think Mewtwo in the back here looks pretty nice. Actually, it looks pretty nice into a lot of stuff. Incineroar looks good here also. Indeedee is going to be incredibly vital here. I think Indeedee with safety goggles would have been even nicer, but unfortunately we don't have these safety goggles on the Indeedee in this team. So I think what I might look to do here is it is kind of tough, I guess. I want to be able to remove the Grimmsnarl if it's on the field. So I think part of me is considering leading Urshifu and looking to play for a Mewtwo endgame. So if I bring Urshifu and I bring Indeedee, I can follow me any sleep powders or any attacks from a Venusaur lead or a Torkoal Venusaur lead, and I can try and do some bits and bobs that way. If I bring Mewtwo in the back and he hasn't got Grimmsnarl, we can do a really good job, although we are asking for a little bit of trouble. And I actually think Landorus looks okay here as well into a lot of my opponent's team. Actually, no, we're going to bring Thundurus for Defiant. Yeah, we're going to bring Thundurus for Defiant in case he brings his own Landorus. Because what I don't want to... I think this is a real risk, this game, of us getting trapped into an end game that we don't like. For example, getting trapped into... If we can't remove a Grimmsnarl early on, we get trapped into Specs Expanding Force. That would be really bad. And really bad is the opposite to really good, and the thing we want to strive for is really good. So there we go. Right, okay, he does lead his Grimmsnarl, which is good news. It's good news for us. Because if he allows us to remove this thing like first up, that could be absolutely huge. The Psychic Surge is there. I don't think I can't remember exactly what his team was. I don't think he has a way of changing the terrain. Let me just double check. He does not. And he either has brought Sun in the back, or if he hasn't brought Sun, then he will have the Zacian and the Landorus. So I don't think there's any reason. Part of me wants to go for the Poison Jab into the what you would call it, the Grimmsnarl, but I'm just going to go for a close combat because I think it's safer. There's a good chance we get. Oh, actually, hang on. Could we get? Is there a chance that we get now by an okay, this is very, very risky now. I'm going to go for it anyway. There's a good chance we could get Electro Web and Spirit Break. Is that the one that hits both? If that happens, we could be in real trouble. But yeah, we'll see. I ran out of time there, which is my own fault. Okay, Grimmsnarl goes for the Reflect, which obviously will benefit it. And a Volt Switch comes out from the Regieleki. It does just under half, which is quite nice. I'll be interested to see how much Grimmsnarl takes from this. With the Reflect up, I'm pretty sure we won't pick up a KO, but it should still do a reasonable chunk. And we'll also now get to see what he's got. Okay, so it is the Zacian, which is fine. Is it fine? I'm not sure if it is fine or not. Okay, that's good damage nonetheless. That's really nice damage. So, I'm just trying to think here about how we can possibly win this game at the end. So the Mewtwo does have Flamethrower, which is pretty nice. And the Thunderous is... Yeah, the Thunderous is Defiant. So we do have a chance here. We definitely have a chance. I am concerned about getting killed by the Grimmsnarl. That is a very real concern. However, I'm not sure we have too many other options because we really need that thing to go away. Yeah, let's follow me again because we don't want to get nailed by the Zacian either. That would be particularly bad. He may just go for a light screen here. He actually withdraws. Okay, into... Is it going to be Landorus? Okay, so we know all of his Pokemon. We'll get a tiny bit of damage onto Landorus, not too much, and Urshifu will survive this turn, which is very nice as well. So, indeed he follows me, which means indeed he will go down, which we will. That's fine. You know, we can handle that. Behemoth Blade comes out. This will definitely KO Indeedee. We will get a tiny bit of chip with close combat on the Urshifu. It won't be very much at all, unfortunately. That's fine. So we get the close combat comes out. Oh, that must be a crit. That's got to be a crit. Yeah, that does. That's a huge damage actually. That's a lot of damage. Okay, so I think we go into Thunderous here. Or do we go into Mewtwo? No, we can't go into Mewtwo yet. Let's go into Thunderous. And I'm not really sure how we play this now, to be honest. I think this is exactly what I was talking about. I think we could be totally wrong. We need to switch out Urshifu. Urshifu's doing absolutely nothing here. We're going to go into Mewtwo, which may not work brilliantly for us. And I'm going to have to Dynamax. I don't think I have any other choice but to Dynamax, and I'm going to Airstream. So the idea, basically, my play here is simply get Mewtwo in, hope that we get the speed boost onto the Mewtwo so that we can Specs Thunderbolts, Specs Flamethrower some stuff, and I hope that we hope that Thunderous can survive the turn. That's the entire plan. There is a decent chance that Mewtwo just goes down straight away, or that Thunderous goes down. Again, I'm really not playing my best today, as you can probably tell. Not sure why. I haven't got any excuses for it. Just not playing very well. I think maybe to be fair, I'm a little bit thrown by the difference in team. Okay, so we're going to Dynamax first. If he's Dynamaxing, he might not be Dynamaxing at all. If he doesn't Dynamax here, we outspeed Landorus unless it's Scarf. If he doesn't Dynamax, we outspeed Landorus. I don't think Zacian can KO Thunderous here, so we should pick up a KO, but he might just be Dynamaxing the Landorus. No, he doesn't. Okay. He goes for the Sacred Sword into Mewtwo. We take that handsomely. We get the Airstream off. I think this should KO from this range. It does KO from this range, which is excellent. So again, we're now in a position where actually we've kind of clawed our way back in. More by luck. Well, I say more by luck than judgment. We're definitely not out of the woods. Like, there's a very good chance we do not win this match. But we are now in a position where it is possible for us to win this match. Because now we have the speed boost, we outspeed the Zacian with Mewtwo. So we pressure with Specs Flamethrower, which is huge. And then in the end game, we can start sucker punching with Urshifu. And I don't think, and I could well be wrong, and actually it turns out I have been wrong in the past, like once or twice, or a lot. But there is a decent chance, I think, that we can close it out from that. From there, I think. I don't know. Regieleki can definitely remove the... Oh, now I'm getting tempted to do something I probably shouldn't do. Like, I could Expanding Force, couldn't I? I could Expanding Force. Because I don't want Regieleki to get, like... Actually, we may not even outspeed Regieleki. God, I need to do these things quicker. What's Mewtwo's speed? 182. Oh, actually, we might then. You know what? Let's go for it. Let's try and outspeed the Regieleki and go for this expanding force, and then let's go for a big max lightning into the Zacian, because that will go after Mewtwo, and I don't expect Mewtwo to survive the turn. Mewtwo actually avoids the attack, which is massive. That's so huge. So the reason, even though that actually might have just possibly won us the game. Mewtwo goes for the expanding force. I suspect this KOs Regieleki, or certainly brings it down to Sash. Yeah, just KOs it, and that does huge damage to the Zacian. The crit on the Regieleki did not matter there. Let's see what he goes for. Behemoth Blade into the Mewtwo, I presume. Oh, into Thunderous? Okay, so actually, it didn't matter what happened that turn, because we were going to win anyway. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure we just win now. So, if he'd have targeted the Mewtwo and KO'd the Mewtwo, which it probably would have done, then I would have felt kind of bad because we would have only won this by luck. But as it happens, we would have won anyway. So, right, to explain that play, if you're wondering exactly what I was doing, the reason I went for the expanding force is because without the Electroweb, we were always going to move before the Zacian. The Mewtwo was always going to move before Thunderous, which means that I would get the benefits of the Psychic terrain, use Expanding Force. I presumed he was going to go for the KO into Mewtwo, and then once Mewtwo was using Expanding Force, I didn't expect it to survive the turn, so there was no harm in using the there was no harm in going for the electric, like setting up the electric terrain, because I didn't suspect Mewtwo would survive the turn, and if it did, it was just a pure bonus. So we actually pick up another win there, which is really nice, obviously. But again, it kind of is. We got lucky again, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, there we are. What can you do? But also at the same time, okay, we did get lucky. A couple of things went our way, but also what we did was make sure to make the optimal plays that we could after the first couple of turns, so that we gave ourselves the best chance of winning, and ultimately that is all you can do, right? So I'll come back with one more battle before we close out the episode. Okay, it looks like we've found our final opponent of the episode. It looks like a Series 17? I don't know, maybe even earlier than that, like pre-DLC team, which is pretty cool. So apart from the Sableye, I don't think there's a great way for my opponent to deal with Mewtwo and DD. Obviously, he has got the Sand option, the Follow Me option, but there's no Terrain Setter, so I think we should be okay. I mean, I guess he could go like Dracozolt. I think we're going to leave Mewtwo and DD this time and see what it can do. He could go Dracozolt Gigalith and then Max Lightning into the Indeedee Follow Me, and that would be problematic. But yeah, I don't know. We're going to bring Landorus again to help kind of deal with the Dracozolt. That's the plan anyway. And then I think also, I think Incin looks pretty good here, to be honest. I don't like not having Urshifu in the back, but I think Incin looks really, really nice. Duraludon, we have, what does Mewtwo have? I need to remember these stupid moves, man. I really need to remember. Okay. I think we probably have enough to deal with Duraludon. I'm not sure I'm not sure how good Thunderous is. Thunderous is okay, actually. Thunderous does pretty well into... Yeah, let's go Thunderous. Screw it, let's go Thunderous. It can Thunderous can carry if you get it boosted, and I also, like... I don't want to bring double Intimidate to a Milotic matchup, really. It's kind of asking for trouble, so yeah. We'll see. We'll see how we get on. Good luck to my opponent. Hopefully it'll be a fun match. We got a pretty good run on these episodes so far. We haven't actually lost, so I've kind of been assuming at some point we will. Maybe this will be the match. We'll see. Okay, so we are pretty clear to go with an expanding force here. I think we're pretty safe to go with a Follow Me expanding force, in fact. We'll get our special defense boost, which will help us deal with Milotic. The Sandstream obviously will raise Gigalith special defense, so I'm not expecting to KO the Gigalith necessarily, especially if one of these Pokemon maxes. We're definitely not going to KO it. But I think we are pretty safe and sound here to go for an expanding force. What are you most likely to switch in this scenario? Milotic? let's go into the Gigalith because I think we can deal with Thunderous beats Milotic, doesn't it? So let's go Follow Me. We could have been really like ballsy and gone for the Helping Hand, but I think Follow Me is enough. I don't think there's any need to take a risk here. He is going to go for the Dynamax. I'm guessing the Milotic. Although, actually, to be honest, Max Gigalith here is not a bad option. Yeah, okay. Really not a bad option at all. I'll be interested to see how much damage we do into the Gigalith slot. Yeah, that's really pretty cool, actually. We go for the Follow Me. And let's see how this turn plays out. So we should get the Expanding Force off first. Yeah, we do. And you can just see just how much damage Mewtwo does. We got the crit on one of those Pokemon. I didn't see which one. So far, our reign of luck continues. If I don't know if we'll survive this attack. No, we do not. That's fine. Again, I wasn't really expecting to survive. We lower our special defense. How can we optimize this next turn? What can we do to deal best with Giga? I mean, so we're more free to bring in Landorus than we were beforehand because of his his Milotic is going to go down this turn, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing that we could probably go for an Earthquake into the Gigalith slot here. I don't think that's a bad idea at all, necessarily. If we go for the Max Quake, we're going to get some chip on the Gigalith. We're going to do some extra damage to the Gigalith. We intimidate it already, so... my only concern, of course, is setting off a weakness policy. We know we're going to activate competitive here, but the Milotic is now so low that it shouldn't matter, I don't think. Yeah, we know we're going to set off a policy here. Oh, well, we don't know that, but we're probably going to set off policy here. So I guess the other option is I could Swords Dance. Could Swords Dance expecting a Landorus switch in on the other end? Sorry, not Landorus switch in the other end. What does he... Does anything he has outspeed us? Yeah, the Dracozolt, right? Okay. Let's Expanding Force, and I think we can Quake. I really do think we can Quake because he can't intimidate us. So I think this is probably fairly safe. He could protect the Gigalith here, go for the Max Guard with the Gigalith, which if he does, then fair enough. We'll have to just accept that. I don't actually know how Expanding Force works into Max Guard. If he Max Guards, does it mean I don't hit either? Should I have targeted the Milotic slot? Does anyone know the answer to that question? Because I don't. If so, I've just thrown the game. I actually don't know how that mechanic works. Okay, we get the Expanding Force off. The crit the turn before was definitely into the Milotic then, so that's good to know. And we will now pick up the Gigalith. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I guess, like I say, I think if you're my opponent there, then maybe what you need to do is stall out my... I'm always likely going to Dynamax the Landorus here, so maybe you can stall out this turn, let your Milotic go down and go straight into a Dracozolt. Because now, obviously Dracozolt can come in with the Sand Up and it can do damage to, it can take out the Mewtwo. But I don't know if there's too much it can do to the Landorus. I'm not really sure. Truthfully, I'm not sure. Duraludon comes out. And I'm guessing the Dracozolt? No. Okay. Alright then. So, it's Air Balloon. It is Air Balloon on the Togekiss. I think we just Expanding Force again, right? I think we have to. We just Expanding Force. And we Rock Fall. Right? Yeah, I think we do. I think that's what we do, right? We Expanding Force and we Rock Fall. I think that probably seals it up. So, whatever happens in these last few turns, this does exactly showcase why I wanted to show you guys this team, right? It's not optimal, certainly because it's not the team I expected to be using. But the point is, and there you go. I mean, look at that damage. That's just insane. It's absolutely insane how much damage the Mewtwo does. Just wipes things out. So yeah, and that's why it can be so useful. I mean, do I think bringing Mewtwo to an event where you've got a lot of better players all of the time. Like if you're like in a top cut, no, I don't think it's going to be the best thing. I don't think bringing this team is the best idea at all. Do I think if with a couple of adjustments, maybe this team could do really, really well in the Players' Cup and actually get you somewhere like reasonably high up the board? Yeah, I do. I think if with the right elements of surprise and the right support around it, I don't see any reason why it can't. So yeah. Anyways, thank you guys very much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I will catch you soon for actual Players' Cup stuff. Bye.